Welcome to
Gratitude Gang.
baby. Only way out now is in a box.
In a box?
In a box.
Oh, in a box. Right.
Oi, you're having a bath if you think you're half-inching that. Ugh. These degenerates leaving trash in front of my shop. Ugh. It's actually an incredibly nice day out. It's definitely going to be a coffee day. Look at this crap. As a diabetic, I'm offended. I had this construction job back in the day, and I knew the guy who owned the company. We were in a band together. Not that it was a huge company, but one day we just started talking Cockney accents to each other the entire day. Like, we just didn't stop, and it must have been really, really confusing. Oi, mate, I need a spanner. What about them? They're fresh. What about their legs? They don't need those. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age. Well, we might as well make the morning rotund. I wasn't thinking about it, but this was a couple of moais. Little Hippo Boy. Another backwards Marcus Aurelius. Of course, we got the Gandhi pipe. Another Bowie can. Coming out real nice. So we got this guy over here. Then a couple of moais there. Nice otter dish here. That's the big 6-inch. Of course, we got T-Rexes. Here's one that does not sell very often. This is an Allosaurus. I think there's some debate about like how profound these little crests on its head were. But, yup, Allosaurus. I wonder what the prefix allo means, because there's like allopathic medicine. There's something to do with like chromosomes that's allo. I'm gonna have to look that one up. We got the burger meat done. We got the bottom bun for the burger. I think that means we have all the pieces. And this hammerhead's getting done. Somebody ordered a hammerhead and a normal shark, normal blue shark. So they're gonna have a nice little collection. I've had this big T-Rex skull kicking around for quite a while. Somebody finally ordered it. So I think we're gonna be painting that today. Also, somebody ordered one of the Mimic cans that we've had extra, so we don't even have to make that. Sharks are definitely selling, and some of the other like stuff that we made in advance is selling, so we might not even be using all these printers that much for at least a while. We've got to sell through the stuff that we already made. So apparently on the store, I've sold 4 of those things. That's nuts. That means that probably at least a couple of you who downloaded the paint rack are probably watching this. So join the Discord server, message me on Facebook when you print. I want to see. Somebody mentioned about sizing this for hairspray cans. Like, I don't know why I never thought of that. It would be nice to have something to like hold those, and they're pretty close to the same size, so you wouldn't have to stretch it that much. But whatever you do with these paint racks, man, let me know. I think it's unbelievable that I sold. I didn't really expect to sell anything on Cults 3D, at least at first. I thought maybe over the long run people would, but that's very cool. Like I said, you know, I'm totally happy if you guys never buy anything from me. It's great that you guys tune in and watch and stuff, but this is a pretty cool feeling. It's something I didn't even expect. That's really making my morning. It's a very cool feeling. We're gonna get all these guys going. which is taking longer now since we're making more stuff. But then it is coffee time. Maybe Cyber Monday things get busy enough that like we can't do coffee time anymore, but we can do it. We can do it today. An order just came through. I wish I could show you. It is to North Pole, Alaska. I know it's not obviously the North Pole, but that might be the farthest north place I've ever shipped. Unless I've unknowingly shipped to like the Lapland region in Norway or something like that. I don't even know if you can mail stuff there. Well, all the stuff, the initial stuff is out of the way. We got some big things to make. Some skulls and stuff sold today, so that's nice. I want to, like, especially around the holidays, as soon as those things come through, I'm trying to print them. Because, like, stuff can get backed up so easy, and you do not want that. The time to hesitate is through. Today's special project, we are finally going to take pictures of this. In fact, I am going to put this right on my desk. Because, like, this is ridiculous. We can at least have this guy ready for Cyber Monday. I don't know what's been holding me up. It doesn't even really take that long to take pictures. It's just multitasking sucks. Probably a lot of you are like me in that I hate switching gears. See, one of the ways I can do all this with the business is I've started to think of it as one process rather than a bunch of little processes. It's like, well, the process is I start the printers, then do this, then do that, and then blah, blah, blah. And it's like all one continuum. It doesn't feel like I'm changing tasks anymore. But I hate changing gears. But we gotta get this little guy. I mean, come on. How am I not gonna have this on offer for holiday season? Somebody deserves this guy. Plus, I'll upload the STL file for you guys. Yeah, I'll probably do that. STL file-wise, this guy can be scaled to anything. You know, it's just a normal model you can scale. So it'd be very cool if some of the model painting people in the community like downloaded this guy and painted him up like a Zerg or something, or all kinds of Tyranids or whatever. I know the Tyranids are like insectish kind of things, but you know what I mean. Somebody could paint this guy super cool. Oh man, such a nice day out. Every once in a while in winter, Texas will give you a day like this. And it would never happen. It would never happen in Indiana. We out here. Kind of random, as I always say, but I was just thinking about something. There's this channel called Soft White Underbelly. Some of you may have seen it. It's pretty popular on YouTube. And what they do is they interview like people that society doesn't think about very much. It'll be like people that are messed up in drugs or have been, or different things like that. But it's so many things. It's like there's a dude on there. It's an interview show, of course. There was a dude on there that did like credit card scams, and there was a counterfeiter guy as well, and like, I don't know. I don't have a point with this. I was just thinking about one particular person who was interviewed on there who had been in a really bad street gang and like murdered people and did time and then turned his life around. Just given like what the interactions I've had with a lot of you, you'd probably find it super interesting. And there's a million episodes. It's like unbelievable. So yeah, it's very worth checking out. Soft White Underbelly. One of my life sayings is there's always somebody that's got it worse than you. And you know, it's interesting because that clearly would not be true for somebody. And Soft White Underbelly is like one of the few places where you could maybe find people that can't say that. It's like, I mean, maybe somebody's got it worse than those people, but like, they're in the running. Classic iced coffee. You know, I just remembered the subway here has that promotion with the $6.99 footlongs. I might have to get one of those today. Yeah, $6.99 footlong sounds pretty good today, honestly. I got a bunch of stuff to do before that, but once I start getting hungry, that's the plan. It's gonna be a good day. I think I'm gonna listen to Soft White Underbelly. We're gonna finally get pictures of the dragon thing. And it's gonna be Subway time. That's a good day right there. David Bowie got done, looking pretty good. I think we got 2 of these to do, but it is candle time. Man, these Ollie's candles have been the real MVP. Seriously, if you guys have an Ollie's in your area, these blueberry pumpkin candles, man, they're the real thing. They're so good. All right, we're gonna pick a outfit that's in unbelievably bad taste and then pose with this little guy here. Some of you might remember this from that last thrift store trip episode, that expedition. Actually kind of like this. I made fun of this for looking like the wall at Chili's. It's kind of snazzy. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the hat. With that being said, I'm gonna have the weird alien reptile horror dragon put on, uploaded to my Cults 3D store, and you guys can print one. And if you print one, put it in the Discord server. If I get a bunch of them, I'll make a montage. But yeah, it's a cool model. Like I said, can be scaled to whatever you need. Yep, I just got the magical horror space dragon listed on Cults 3D if anybody wants one. Like I said, I'm not gonna ever do the high pressure sales thing. I'm just saying, like, if you want to give a little extra thanks and get a pretty cool model, it's available. Okay, so the guy I was talking about in the car is Johnny Chang. Actually, I don't know if I specifically talked about him. Maybe I didn't. It's who I was thinking of. He's got an incredible story, and this isn't Soft White Underbelly, but I've already watched those. They're like up here, but yeah, super cool story. Yeah, we're getting Subway. FTL 699 still works. Very, very cool. I was gonna segue, but A, it's faster to do this, and B, it's actually starting to get a little nippy out there. Bag secured. Ready, gang. Maybe that can be the gang sign. We're gonna destroy this sandwich, and then we're going to destroy all the things that we are... Okay, I can't find an analogy for that, but we're gonna paint a bunch of things. Well, we have a whole bunch of moais, and we're just gonna do them all in one big batch. Salvador Dali, everyone's favorite Spaniard, debatably. Marcus Aurelius. I think I actually am going to make a couple more paint racks. I was thinking I wouldn't be able to handle all the printing I'd have to do with the large printers, but I think we can squeak it in. Because one of the main things that's selling right now are the big sharps. We're about to do a few of them, so I think we'll be all right. Bear dish, couple of stringies, but he'll be all right. Very small frog dish, basically perfect, honestly. David Bowie can. This one's going bright red, actually. Italian hand. Very, very Italian. Small T-Rex skull. Big alien boy. Gonna have black eyes and he's going to be purple. I think this is the first purple one I've ever done in my life. But yeah, let's just clean it up a little bit, paint the eyes. We'll wait for that to dry and then we'll tape it off. Psychedelic alien. We've got about a room full of things to paint, so we're gonna paint them, and then we'll wait for those things to dry a while, which we might clean up more prints while we're doing that, and then I'll probably move them. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna flip over a lot of these containers and put them roughly in this area so that we can take the prints that are still curing, put them over here, and I just lost my train of thought. Well, anyway, that's what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, put more things in there to paint. Little before picture. Got our moais over here. We're gonna roll them and get all the sides. Gold stuff. That stuff's getting painted black. It's a little bit color coded. White. And these guys are special. Actually the red David Bowie and then the psychedelic alien.
I was born in the darkness. You merely adopted it.
All right, got that red Bowie, white stuff over there, psychedelic. We haven't quite done the orange on the cat yet. We got the gold stuff. We got the alley skulls, and of course the moais. Small alien trash can. We've actually got 2 of these, and we are going to tape off the eyes. There we go. Alien number 2. There we go. Alien number 2. Time to do this mimic can. It's really just a little bit of stringing. Pretty much everything about this is fine. It's finally time to do the big T-Rex. It came out not too bad, but we're just gonna clean up a couple things. Another David Bowie. This one is going Golden Stardust, which is a coloration I came up with. I believe it goes, I'm gonna check because I think this is the second one I've ever sold. It goes purple, gold to white. The purple is like the undertones, so it kind of highlights the undertones. Then you've got gold, and the white kind of acts like a light source like this. Little gold, or soon to be gold, T-Rex dish. Couple of Sharkies. This one is from storage, so we're getting into the stored stuff. I get a lot of people messaging me for business advice or consultations and stuff, and it's funny. I was just thinking about some stuff I said to people today. Really, it's amazing. It's amazing how often the advice boils down to work your ass off. I mean, it's not quite that simple, but really, that's a pretty good one. Like with 3D printing businesses, a lot of times what I'm saying is something along the lines of make a bunch of products. I mean, you want to, if you're just starting out, you just need to make a bunch of things, and then you eventually figure out what your customer base kind of wants. Oh, that was a squeaky sound. Not sure if that showed up on camera. A lot of times it's like, just make a bunch of stuff, then you figure out what your customers kind of want, make more of that kind of stuff. It's not exactly that simple, but that's a good place to start. But really, everything just comes down to put in massive effort. Like, anybody that ever asks something like, how many things do I have to have in my store before I can blah, 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 make a living? It's like you shouldn't even be asking that. One time I was listening to this podcast on making beats. You know, something a lot of people do in music is you make beats for rap artists and stuff, or different things. Just there's all kinds of uses for samples and beats. And there was this guy that I was listening to that got into it in the early 2000s, as in like just when people started making beats that people could find online and then make their rap tracks to and all that kind of stuff. And he had done like everything. He had a big studio and was like very successful at this point because he was very, very early in that game and had been doing it forever. And he was saying the same stuff that I get from people all the time. It's like, how many beats do I have to make before I'm making a living? Or like, how long do I have to do this? And the number one thing he just kept saying is like, if you're even asking that, maybe it's not for you, you know? It's fine to just it's fine to do music as a hobby. It's fine to do 3D printing as a hobby, but it's like, you kind of just have to be like all in, at least for a few years or something, to really see if it's something you can do or get into. You got to be trying everything you can possibly think of, basically. And maybe after, if you give it a good effort for 2 or 3 years and you're not getting anywhere, maybe move on to something else. I don't know. I guess this became a rant, but just some thoughts here. Basically, if you're trying to do something for a living like this, if you're trying to do anything that's fun for a living, be prepared to just work your ass off. That's it. That's all there is. See, the thing that's about that message that is good and should come to your ears pleasantly is that is something you can do. Like you can, especially if you're a young person. I kind of wish I had started this when I was like 20. I started this when I was, I guess, 32 or something. It would have been even better if I got started earlier and had a little more energy and stuff. Although I did learn a lot of things that helped me do this, I guess. But anyway you slice it. The point is, you can work. You know, it's one thing if you have if you have some kind of really significant sickness or something and there's only so much you can do. I get it. There are limitations out there, but short of something like that, you can. Like, you can just put in a ton of effort. Even if you have to work, you know, more or less full-time at something else, then you have all that other time, assuming you don't have kids and stuff. Obviously, I know everybody's situation is different, but that's good news, because like there are things you can't change. Like, you can't get dramatically smarter. You can get educated, which helps. You can use the intelligence you have, but you can't become like Albert Einstein if you're not already pretty high up there, you know? So those are things you can't control, but basically everybody can learn to work hard, more or less, or it's at least something most people can do. So when I say work your ass off, that's good news, because it's difficult to get yourself to do it, but it is something that's possible. Oh, and the thing I meant to say about that is it's also good news because almost nobody does that. Like, maybe when you're young, you don't know what the world is like sometimes, or at least there's a limited extent to which you do. But one thing I really learned is, like, most people don't really consistently put effort into anything. I mean, there are exceptions and stuff. There's a lot that can be said about that, but really, most people are just not trying that much. And so if you're willing to take a direction most people won't take, that could pan out theoretically, even if that thing doesn't work out, eventually something does. And it's because just nobody really tries anything, you know? Nobody has any vision or works consistently towards anything. You're in a really small group of people, smaller than you realize when you do that. So it's like, don't be thinking you don't have a chance. Like, maybe it doesn't work out. You know, it's totally possible, and you need to be ready for that. You might have to try a bunch of things, but give a good effort for all those things. But man, you got a chance. You know, it's not like the cause is hopeless. Sorry, I'm not trying to just rant, but I'm getting like more and more thoughts about this as I talk about it. Something a lot of you should consider if you're thinking about really going for it with business or anything really. And this is a real question, but it's like, what are you really gonna miss out on? Think about this. Like, if you actually pay attention to what you do in a day, I mean, I'll just speak from my perspective here. Like, before I started taking music really seriously, I played a lot of games, okay? I got so into real-time strategies and different games that I was a game programmer, and I was just doing this for fun. I probably could have pursued a career in it, but I just didn't think of it that way. And it was fun, and it was kind of an enriching experience to learn how to program. But really, the reason I got out of games is because even though they were very fun at the time, and especially designing games, I loved the creativity of it, I didn't really feel like at the end of it that I was glad I was doing that in a long-term sense. Like, I built entire mods for Total Annihilation, which is a real-time strategy that came out in 1997. I was making units, I was making mods, and that's how I got into full-on game programming. And like I said, I don't feel bad about it exactly. It's more like I'm just not glad that I did all that. It's fun in that, like, I think about it and some of the experiences and things I learned. It's not like nothing good came out of it, but I never felt like, oh man, I'm so glad I played video games for 10 hours straight, you know? So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, think about what you're actually sacrificing instead of working your ass off at something like a dream you have, a business, whatever it is. It's like, do you really just want to be sitting and playing video games all day long? Like, what are you really, in a long-term sense, getting out of that? And like, that's a real question, because maybe it's worth it for you. I'm not going to presume to know how you're going to feel about that. Like, I felt like I was supposed to do something else, but not everybody's going to feel that way, and it's every individual person's decision. It's their job to determine what's best for them and all that. But I don't know. Things have worked out pretty well. I look back on what I've done since that era of my life, and even though it didn't really work out in music, I did learn how to work really hard, and I kind of learned about business and a lot of things that served me better. Plus, I have a bunch of albums. I have 12 albums that I can listen to, so that's nice. But yeah, basically it all boils down to just think long term. You know, think about what's going to serve you in the long term and what's going to be best for the world as well, that you're going to feel fulfilled in doing. And it's kind of like the best advice I know how to give. Got a few more things painted. Big T-Rex. Got the cat, little sharkies, and of course the Mimic can came out real good. Well, that's a pretty good day. Got all the printers reset, and everything is smooth sailing. Ugh. What a day. Well, today I'm grateful that I got those 4 sales on Cults 3D. That's pretty crazy. And I'm finally glad that I got the horror movie reptile thing listed. And if you guys want to say thank you and get a cool file, I've got that on Cults, and I'll link that below. Feels good. Tried to introduce a lot of products this year, and I guess I didn't introduce as many as I was hoping I would, but we did okay. You know, I think the sharks were introduced this year. If it wasn't this year, it was like early last year or something, but they've definitely been the standout product, and I'm very grateful for those little sharky boys. I'm just grateful that sales are good and everything's looking nice. And did I talk about this already? I don't think I did. So, longtime viewers may remember that I was having people flag some of my listings, I think because people were drop shipping my items. So like, if your items appear, if pictures from your listings appear on these like Chinese websites or different websites, Etsy will sometimes think that you're buying the products from there and just reselling them on Etsy, which is against Etsy's rules. This is a very annoying thing, and obviously you can't do anything about it because it's not like you don't even know who's doing this. So, especially if you get to a point where people might be doing that to your listings, those listings will get flagged sometimes. And I never found out if this was what's happening, but there's an automatic process that scours the internet looking for stuff like this. And anyway, I had like 1 or 2 things flagged, and then I messaged customer service on Etsy, and then way later than that, they finally got back to me. It's like after a month or 2 or something like that, and they reinstated everything and it was fine. But for some reason, because of that, they wouldn't let me have my Star Seller badge. For anyone that doesn't know, Star Seller is a thing on Etsy that it's like the best customer service badge you can get. It's actually fairly hard to qualify for it. I mean, there are like major shops that are not Star Sellers because it's like there's all these customer service metrics that you have to match, and it's actually, at this point, I wouldn't say it's like impossible or anything, but it does take a decent amount of effort to accomplish that. Moral of the story is I've qualified for Star Seller, I think every month this year, and I had it for most of the year. But because of this flagging thing, there was something on my account that made me get disqualified for Star Seller, even though I met the metrics. Because these listings got flagged, I have no idea how the back end of this works, but for some reason they just weren't giving me my Star Seller badge because of my listings getting flagged for something that I couldn't control, which is it gives you a window into how Etsy works internally. So like for the past 3 months, something like that, I was supposed to have Star Seller badge because I qualified for it, but they wouldn't give it to me. But for some random reason, they made me a Star Seller today. So that's incredibly good. It doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't give it to me the past 3 months. They just happened to give it to me during the most important month that I could get it. And you do sell more when you have a Star Seller badge. It's like if there's a bunch of products somebody's looking at and one of them's a Star Seller, there's a pretty good chance that they go with that product, or they at least look at it first or something like that. It's a big deal. And a lot of people don't value it like they should. But the point is, like the past 3 months when I haven't had Star Seller, I have noticed a decrease in sales. So this is like the best thing that could happen. And yeah, sales were quite good today. And man, Cyber Monday is tomorrow. Now that I have Star Seller badge and I've had 5 stars average review for a long time. I mean, it's probably gonna be really big tomorrow, which is kind of why I'm trying to prepare as much as possible. Anyway, all that's to say, if you sell on Etsy, it's worth trying to get the Star Seller badge. It tells you what to do to get it, and it's effort, but it's worth it. And yeah, just know that Etsy is a company that doesn't really make sense. They did this thing like a year ago where they just charged everybody randomly several $1,000s. Like some people were charged $10,000 out of their account. And then the Etsy corporation just claimed that this was a mistake. And like a few days later, they refunded everybody. But it's like, you made a mistake on like thousands of accounts, and it was a huge amount of money. Fortunately, I think they tried to charge me $2,000 or $3,000, and I just didn't keep that much money in the account that's associated with it or something, because I don't. But man, the Etsy seller subreddit was blowing up. Like, people lost their minds. This is a real thing that happened. I'm sure these threads still exist. You can look it up. it was crazy. I mean, imagine your account just having $10,000 less in it. That literally happened to people, and it's like an accounting mistake. It's amazing that they didn't get sued or anything over that. Maybe they did, I don't know. But it's clearly like that's not a mistake. Like, how do you accidentally charge thousands of people thousands of dollars? Like, that doesn't happen. It was also like random amounts and stuff, so just know that it is a wild ride, and it's some kind of like minor miracle that I've been on Etsy for 6 years and nothing has taken me out yet. But anyway, let's respond to some comments. I've been ranting too long. Theo3000 says, grateful that Billy Paul and that lady had a cafe where they would hook up every day. I'm glad somebody got that reference. Z3US226 asks, what are your favorite crypto projects? I don't really do that much. I don't do that many cryptos for my long-term portfolio. I started DCAing at Bitcoin. I started DCAing Bitcoin when it was 256. And that's what I recommend most people do. And especially if you really, I don't recommend timing the market for most people. But if you were going to buy Bitcoin and crypto, the big cryptos, buy them when nobody's talking about them, during the most boring times, like when there's just no news at all. You always buy in bear markets and try to sell in bull markets. If you really want to get technical, look on a daily chart of Bitcoin, and when it's under the 200 moving average, generally that's a good time to average in, and feel free to sell when it's above. Basically, you want to sell when people are just really, really excited and overhyped about it. Not financial advice. Kenneth Horos says, simply, legend. I don't know what that's a response to, but thank you. Well, the Gratty Gang knows what time it is. Time for the Gratitude Gang Up. Tell me in the comments what you are grateful for. What small moments of joy you're experiencing. What little things are just making life super worthwhile for you right now. Could be anything. It could be, sometimes you like crack open a can of soda and it just tastes so good and it's really hot out. It could be that. It could be you're spraying your dog down with a hose. Who knows? It could be, make it your own. Why not? So leave your comments below. I love reading them. I will upvote. I will probably give you a heart. And as always, if you want to be a real trooper, if you want to be a top G, go around and just like other people's comments. Gives them a notification. Somebody liked their comment, which is the best human experience possible. Nothing could be better than that. It's what men who have scaled Mount Everest wished they could accomplish. Gratitude Gang, signing out. See you next time. Peace.
These are the times that try men's souls.